Welcome to Electric Evolution with Liz Allan. This podcast explores the transition to net zero and the systems driving real change in how we move, live and power our world. Every week I sit down with the people leading that change, those offering insight, innovation and impact in many ways people don't fully see until they hear their stories. If you're ready for real conversations that inspire action and drive change, please like this video, subscribe to the channel and join us on this journey. And let's cut through the noise and build a better future together. Hi everyone and welcome back to Electric Evolution. Today I am joined by Rolle Niemenen and he is the Head of Sales and Country Manager for the UK and Ireland at Kempower. Rolle, it's absolutely lovely to meet you. Thank you very much, for coming on and joining me. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me. Looking forward to a chat.
And actually, I said lovely to meet you, but do you know what? We did meet, but we didn't get much chance to talk, did we? We kind of went to a kind of a meeting together, but we were at the other side of the room. So I'm just calling it the first time, really. Yeah. Here we go.
Indeed.
So let's start off by getting a little bit of your background before you started working for Kempower, what you did and what sort of what interested you to kind of in the first place to get you into the sector, into the role that you're in.
Okay. Well, how much time you've got? So I got into EVs about 7 years ago by getting my first EV, leasing an EV, and I was at the time I was working for automotive in the automotive industry, like I've done since I moved to the UK 20 odd years ago, and as soon as I got into my little Kia EV, it was like, okay, yeah, this is what it is. So this is at that point you could say that this is tomorrow, because it was not what EVs are today. But you could see that it's like, okay, this makes sense. It's silent, it's comfortable, etc. And so I realized that at the time I was working for an automotive manufacturer, and then over time I got involved in different EV related projects, but it wasn't my main job. And I felt so strongly about that EVs are the future, that I started really getting involved. And at one point I realized there's a lot of discussion in conferences, etc., about what the drivers need, but there wasn't a voice for the driver who would represent the drivers in those discussions. So I started looking around, contacting people, and then this was sort of something I did around 2019, autumn of 2019, so pretty much 6 years ago, and that led to the birth of EVA England. So we set it up in early 2020, and obviously after that I was sort of fully involved in the EVs starting to build up a consumer advocacy group, and then getting into understanding both the business side and the consumer side of it. And then it was late 2021 when I saw that Kempower is coming into the UK with some new interesting contracts, and I approached them, and here we are. So yeah, I started with Kempower at the beginning of 2022, so approaching my 4-year anniversary at Kempower in January.
And that's brilliant. So and I spoke to somebody previously from Kempower, right, probably at the beginning of the podcast, before I was even an EV driver. And I said to you that I can wax very lyrically about Kempower because I've always seen the Kempower brand as a really, really good brand, and reliable and just kind of it just works, and that's always a good thing, isn't it? Because you're building that kind of the trust that you need, with the drivers that are,
Yeah.
that are actually driving the vehicles in the first place. I was going to ask you, so what, since you've actually been working for Kempower, what's kind of made the UK and Ireland that kind of exciting for you? What's have you had that kind of feedback from lots of people? Because I'm sure you must have done.
Yeah, I'm very glad to see sort of end user consumer EV driver feedback, which is very much positive, and I think that's one of the sort of founding ideas of Kempower. So obviously we're the I'd like to call it original distributed charging solution provider. So from the very early days, we built the charging solutions to be reliable, have high uptimes, and that is through distributing the power from the centralized power unit to multiple dispensers that we call satellites. So you have a modularity in the design that allows for high uptimes, even if something happens. Let's say somebody runs over a cable with their car. You will in most public charging applications in the UK, you will have multiple other connectors that you can connect to. And then on the other hand, if something happens inside the power unit, that is again modular in the way that it will then just utilize the high number of other power modules, for instance, to provide a good charging experience. So that's the idea, that there should always be connectors. So we talk about more plugs, and then power available to the chargers. So you're not reliant on like a single point of failure on any of those things. So that means that you can always show up, and that's actually like in the UK, like I said, most of the solutions are those, that they are the distributed power unit satellite systems, which means that you can have more plugs, more connectors from the grid connection. So you can optimize the use of that grid connection, and therefore providing a better customer experience. And yeah, our idea has all the way been that the customer experience should be as seamless as possible. So we're asking people to have a big change in their lifestyles when they're moving from liquid fuels to electricity, that they have to learn something new, and making that as simple and as intuitive as possible is the key in our design.
And I think, kind of back to right at the beginning when I started this podcast, and probably by the time this episode goes out live, it will be around 3 years since I started the podcast itself. And things that just you don't realize, even just talking to people, kind of from charging, or charging networks, or from other automotive brands or wherever. It isn't until you kind of get into an EV and then you use public charging, public networks or wherever, that all of a sudden you kind of go, oh, because I thought I knew all of, oh yeah, everybody's told me this stuff, but it isn't until you go out and you start charging, and then it's like, oh, okay, oh right, so it's that confirmation, isn't it, of how these things work.
Exactly, and I think that it's like I have to go way back to my first public charging experience, and it was very exciting. It was at a motorways service area. I was getting 50 kilowatts, which was loads more than I was able to get at home, and yeah, it was at the time it was something new, and it was good thing was that was like the first couple of experiences were positive. Everything worked the way I expected it to, so you build confidence from that. And we want to be sort of in the confidence building business for customers. That is like it should be as simple as you pay and you plug in, and then you go about your business, because a lot of our customers in the UK and actually globally, the charging is a secondary activity. So it is, you charge while you do your shopping. You charge when you stop when you're on a journey and you want to get coffee, or you want to have a meal, or just a break, and then you plug in and then you do what your primary activity is, and therefore the charging side of it needs to be as simple as possible. So yeah, that's what our philosophy on it is, and yeah, as simple as possible and accessible. So as accessible as possible as well, so that people with and I'm not just talking about people who have physical disabilities, but any person should be able to use the chargers as easily as possible.
Yeah, exactly. I've got to say, when I really love the fact that we can build charging into a journey, as in, like you say about stopping somewhere and either picking up some shopping or whatever we want to do, kind of just going for a bite to eat or something like that, and plugging in and knowing that the car's going to be charged, when we get out.
Yeah.
That makes such a difference. And I kind of said to you, didn't I, before we started recording, that our car doesn't take a lot of kilowatts. I've talked about this before. It doesn't. It's the maximum we get is like 48 kilowatts, and it's from your kit. I always get really excited when I'm like, look at that, look. and it's just one of those things that just kind of I am a bit of a geek, and I love seeing that maximum speed that I can get from a charger. And I know that probably people watching and listening are going to be getting like 100, 150 or whatever. But for me, it's the little things. Do you know what I mean? You know?
No, and that's actually then brings me to a point, because and this is not just for us geeks, but people who want to plug in and then go do their shopping, whether it's supermarkets or like there's one great site now that is at a really lovely farm shop in the West Country. So whether it's just your everyday shopping or whether you're taking a break on a journey, from very early on, our software guys thought of a clever thing, which is the follow on mobile functionality that we have on the screen. So if you scan the QR code that is on the Kempower screens, that means that you will have the view of your charge, and you can follow it. So it's like you go for a meal, you don't have to wonder, is my car charging? You can just check it on your phone. There's no apps needed for that or anything. It is something that you just grab the view of your screen, and then if you really want to get into the geeky stuff that you talked about, you can then see your charging curves and everything by going deeper into it. But it is about that, building the confidence and making sure that it's like you can just rest assured that your car is charging.
And the other thing that you can get, or I've seen, you can see the cost. People can see the cost as they're charging. You can see that. I was one of those when I was younger that I used to I'd put £10 worth of petrol in my you know, when you could get a lot for 10 quid, you know, but it's important, isn't it, to be able to see all of these
Yeah,
things. And if you want to go for the geeky stuff, then great. But actually, if you want to see how many, you know, how full your battery is and what it's costing you,
yeah.
you've
And
got all of it.
how long is it going to take to get to
Yeah.
where you want it to get to? So yeah,
Exactly, because then you can kind of go, okay, so I'm just finishing my cup of tea. I've got to 77%, you know, for example. It's only going to be 3%, you know, till I want to stop at 80 because, you know, obviously because of the charging curve, etc., etc. Right, I've got time to finish my cuppa off and get back. So it's those really simple things, isn't it, that
yeah,
when
absolutely.
you've got people who don't drive an EV, and I was talking to somebody else on the previous podcast that went out before this one about, you know, kind of, oh, who wants to sit for half an hour and wait for wait for a car to charge. That's not what we're talking about here.
No.
We're talking about working it around your lifestyle, aren't we? With whatever, you know, you build it around what else, the other things that you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. We've done quite a bit of research into that, and the whole idea of building it into your lifestyle is critically important. It's like people are not really willing to wait that long, and because they want to continue with their journey, or they want to get their shopping done, whatever it is that they're running errands. So having availability of the plug, your journey breaks, say on a motorway, they're usually anything from sort of 10-minute very quick pit stop to half an hour, 45 minutes, and you will get different amounts of charge in that time, depending on all kinds of variables. But what people are not wanting to do is that wait for that 10-15 minutes for a free charger. That's why from the very beginning we've been looking at this. It's actually more important to have more plugs, especially in car charging, than it is to have enormous amounts of power per car. We can still do the sort of peak numbers of 400 kilowatts, but your everyday charge isn't going to be always 400. Even with cars that can do it, the temperatures have to be right, the battery state of charge needs to be right. All of these things need to be right to get to the 400. But as long as you can plug in and do what you need to do, then the charge, as long as it's a meaningful charge. So yeah, you need to have some power behind it, but it like the expectations of it needing to be enormous, they're not your everyday reality. They're more of a one-time test. I have to admit, I have probably tested all of my EVs that can they get that, but it's like once I know that yeah, it can do its 200 or 250, whatever it might be, then it's like I will charge when it's convenient for me, not necessarily when it's convenient for the car to get the highest charge.
Yeah, well, absolutely, and that's the best way to be, isn't it? Really.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say, get you to talk about some of the projects that you've been involved in, because I know that this is what the meeting that we were at was talking about your work with kind of EHGV charging, and that's well, tell me if I'm totally naive, but that seems like a very different beast to kind of regular just EV charging. I know it's an EV, but it's a massive one, isn't it? You know, so how's that been, and what's the projects that you've been involved in?
Yeah, it is a very different space, and I think that I was thinking that it's like maybe before I move on to the EHGVs, just because we are obviously as a manufacturer, we're well known for providing public charging solutions for a number of great customers, and obviously last week's SAPMAP best networks results were great to read. In the obviously in the medium category, we had Smart Charge by Sainsbury's, and the top and BEV, who uses a lot of our kit as well. Number 2, Arnold Clark in the Rising Stars on the medium, and obviously the sort of one of the first big users of Kempower kit in the UK, Osprey, scoring a great third place in the large networks category. So yeah, that's been the work that we have been doing for years now, and it's great. It's rewarding. It gets masses of people moving under electric propulsion, but and that will continue. But cars are just one part of this whole electrification equation. So that's obviously something that is close to everyone. Everybody's been in a car. Most people drive them, and it's sort of close and easy to understand. But then, yeah, when you scale things up to bigger vehicles and machinery, the principle still remains very much the same. It's like we actually use the same architecture. It's the same idea of centralized power units, and then dispensing the power to satellites, or they can be coming from like ceiling mounted control units, pantographs, etc. So then there's more variety in how that power is delivered to the vehicle or machine that needs it. So yeah, we've done quite a lot of bus charging in the UK through some of our great sales and service partners who have done turnkey solutions for a lot of the major bus operators, and I think that's another area that it's actually maturing quite well. On European scale, a lot of new buses are electric, and most of them both for sort of total cost of ownership reasons, but also because of regulations and demanding that city transit buses need to be clean. So that cleans out. It covers a lot of different ground. It's if we look at noise pollution, an electric bus it sort of whispers compared to a diesel bus. It removes a lot of the particle pollution from city air, and then obviously the CO2 benefits on that. And I think that with buses, there's certainly a challenge with space, and a lot of city center bus depots are tiny. I could not drive and park the buses into those depots. So
no, me neither.
no, so we can what we've done with our solution, because there are a lot of sort of space saving benefits from the power unit and satellite or other dispenser solution. So you can there's still going to be a lot of sort of high power electronic equipment in your bus depot, but the sort of what is in those parking bays between buses can be very slim, or it doesn't even need to be there. It can be up in the high up in the ceilings, and some of the solutions we've done in different projects are things like underground solutions, etc. So there's ways to keep the same or at least very close to the same number of buses in those depots as it was before, and that's what it's all about with buses, is the efficiency, that you need to utilize the grid connection efficiently, and you need to distribute the power to the buses efficiently. And then, so buses, cars, buses, they're sort of maturing markets, but obviously, EHGVs, as you mentioned, it's the same stuff, just charging powers and battery sizes are massively bigger. So if we look at like medium to long haul truck, they currently in the ones that are available in the European market, they are sort of up to 600 kilowatt hours battery size.
Blimey.
So your medium EV is sort of around 60 to 70, so that it's roughly 10 times bigger battery. So that means that the charging powers need to be much higher in order to not inconvenience the trucks. So and you've got a couple of different approaches to that, which are not exclusive in any way, but you use depot charging overnight or whenever there's a break in the shifts, or you use destination and en route charging, which are then depot charging can be done usually at a lower power because the truck is going to be there for longer. But then if you're trying to get a meaningful charge for a truck in their 45-minute regulation driving break, then you need to be talking about powers sort of 400 kilowatts plus. And for that purpose, we've actually introduced a couple of new products recently, which we already have in use in a number of applications that are sort of up to 1200 kilowatts for an MCS standard charger, and we also have for CCS applications we have a 560 kilowatt solution. So that's when you're starting to then charge those units in the same kind of time frames as you would your normal car, just at a significantly higher power. But getting that power at those levels to the right places where the HGV drivers need to and want to stop, that's obviously going to be a challenge as we transition. It's not impossible. It's not even necessarily always that difficult, but it is a consideration. But then, on the other hand, you can supplement that with battery energy storage. So you can boost the power on a site using battery energy storage, which is what we've what our customers have done, for instance, in Sweden, where they basically doubled the available power by using battery storage. And then
I was going to say that's a good way to do that anyway, isn't it?
Yeah. So those are the sort of mainstream ones, but then we're also involved in electrifying machinery, like for instance in ports. It's currently very very difficult to electrify a freight vessel that is supposed to cross oceans, but then there's a lot of things that can be done with the freight handling at the port end, which would otherwise be same things as with the buses. That it's the local air, CO2, noise, etc. that you can reduce by moving into electric power. And but these are 24/7 operations. So that's where it's absolutely critical to then make sure that the uptimes are extremely high and the kit is reliable.
Because I was going to say it doesn't feel. It doesn't seem to me to be that easy to kind of like you say, electrifying a port as such, but the peripheral equipment, you're kind of making a big difference to be able to kind of provide that. Are all of the UK ports looking at that currently? Because they'll all have decarbonisation targets, won't they?
I think that I wouldn't want to say that all are looking at it right now. I think that, yeah, like you said, they will have different kinds of decarbonization plans. Different port operators are running at different paces, but I think that it's something that will we will be talking to a lot of the operators about. But and then it's things like vessels, whether they are in public transport use or whether they are freight vessels. Again, if you're looking at the shorter routes, not the cross oceans, but on the rivers and coastlines. There's a lot of examples of electrified vessels especially in the Nordics. If you look at Norway, Sweden, Denmark. So there are a lot of options, and they're not all necessarily the massive ones, but you can have like commuter ferries and stuff like that that are electrified with again the same benefits as electrifying your local buses.
It's funny because you just got me thinking then. So probably just a few weeks ago, I think it was right at the end of September, beginning of October, I met Tracy Cairns, who's been on the podcast previously, and she's head of EV charging for the Welsh government. And I met her in Henley-on-Thames, which is very close to me. It's something like 15-20 minutes drive away. And we were just walking along the Thames to go to our destination, and we saw an electric commuter boat. Well, it was kind of like a little cruiser going up and down, up and down the Thames. But we were both taking photos of this kind of commuter boat, which was really interesting to see. I didn't see any charging in at the time, but actually just to be able to see that there were, all of these things, we're going to start seeing more of them, aren't we? And it'll come into our daily lives, which will make a massive difference when people start seeing them. It's not just cars, it's like EHGVs, it's kind of commuter ferries, and like you say, all the peripherals. It's just going to make a massive difference.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like things like aviation, again, another hard to electrify area, but there are things that parts that you can electrify from it. Things like the buses at the airports, taking you from the terminals to the plane, buses to the car, between car parks and terminals. Those will have a significant impact. But then also the aircraft themselves, they will have at least electric elements. So whether the sort of longer flights can be battery electric remains to be seen, but there will definitely be electric motors powering parts of the flight, because we already see the tests, and sort of shorter flight has been already electrified. So that's not tomorrow. That's already existing technology today. So yeah, there's an interesting variety, but I think that it's there are sort of cores to our business and to our strategy, which are obviously cars, vans, HGVs, buses. They will continue to grow the electrification rates for all of them, and then the other areas will be very, very important as well, because there is a need and a clear benefit.
Definitely. So if we look at all of the projects that you're involved in, which you've got multiple fingers in lots of pies. That was fingers in pies. Fingers in pies. But what lessons can the wider sector and industries learn from what you're doing and you've been doing? What, and I know this is part of your overall USP anyway, isn't it? Your unique selling point, or points even.
Yeah, I think that it's looking at the solution holistically. So whether it's a charging hub, or whether it's a bus depot, that is like, rather than there's like, okay, I want X number of chargers. It's like you sort of build the picture. That is like, what am I trying to achieve here? What's the customer expectation, the user expectation? How do we make it as convenient and easy for the user as possible? And then start it early. Don't order buses and then start thinking about charging. It needs to be at the same time, because it's not it's a complex process with so many different variables. It's the same with building a charging hub, and a lot of my customers will know this, that it's like there's different things that you might come across, different requirements, different challenges along the way. So it's like plan it, but that we actually have a solutions engineering team that will work with our sales team, obviously, but also with the customer and with our turnkey partners to build the solution and build the value for that use case. There's like, okay, how do we sort of eke out the maximum savings or revenue from grid constrained site, using batteries, using different kinds of energy management solutions. How do we make a public charging site as accessible as possible? Where do you place the satellites? Where do you do the where do you place the power units so that they are as convenient, and looking at the sort of economics of the installation at the same time. So yeah, we have a sort of modular, scalable solution, which means that we can build solutions that grow with the customer's needs, and then we also have the sort of engineering support for that before it's installed, but also after it's been installed, and understanding also those sort of life cycle needs of a solution from early on. So having the right service contracts in place, having the right service level agreements in place to make sure that you keep the high uptime and reliability all along. So it is about looking at projects and programs as holistically as possible. That's I think is the it's not a USB as such, but it is the approach that we want to take, that we're there to provide solutions to business challenges.
Well, I think that is part of your USP. Just like, that's part of the way you think, isn't it, as an organisation? So
Yeah.
that's that's always a positive thing. What would you like to see if we look at kind of future technologies? What would you like to see happen in kind of in your business, or in the wider sectors, that will kind of help you optimize things in future further?
I think that what I would like to see personally, and I'm sure that our organization looks at it, that if we look at regulatory frameworks and things like EV incentives across different countries, or sort of other policy drivers, that they are consistent, that they so our customers can plan, we can plan for a sort of logical path into the future. So if there is if there's an incentive, then it's clear for how long it is, what's going to happen with it. If there are sort of volume requirements for EVs, that they stay, because that gives stability to the whole industry. So operators can invest and they know what's happening down the line, because every business wants to have a level of predictability. I think that from the sort of technology point of view, again, I think we're probably in a good place with this sort of nearly 7 years tried and tested solution of power units that then distribute the power dynamically where it's needed, and it doesn't really matter whether it's a pantograph or a ceiling mounted control unit or a satellite. So we can adapt to those things relatively easily. It's more about the business environment. So it's like, yeah, powers will inevitably grow. Again, we've moved from sort of maximum size of a power unit of 600 kilowatts now to 1.2 megawatts. So that's sort of logical development, and that can be foreseen. But I think that's the sort of stability to do business and provide great solutions for any kind of electrified vehicle or machinery that is needed. That's what I'm sort of hoping for.
And talking about doing business, you've got lots of partnerships across lots of different sectors. What do you see? What makes a strong partnership for Kempower? You know,
Yeah.
what are the good things that make that strong partnership?
Yeah, I think the key thing is open conversations. So we have we've got different kinds of customers who buy our systems, and then they build bus depots, etc. And then we have public charge point operators who get our kit and they build their hubs, and we want to be there enabling their success, because their success will be our success. So having open conversations about both the successes and challenges, and then sort of innovating, even though we might not produce a brand new product for every single project, and we don't. But there are different ways of utilizing the existing portfolio of our hardware, our software solutions, to make things work in different environments, like utilizing the same architecture that we're using in bus and car charging at a port, in charging the port machinery. So it is about using our expertise, our global experiences of doing all kinds of different charging solutions, and then being open to ideas, and also asking us. That's like, okay, hey, this is what I want to do. Is it possible? And more often than not, something is possible, and it's just a matter of finding the right solution. So we provide solutions. We don't, and chargers are a part of that solution.
So one final question then. So what is coming up in 2026 that you are most excited about?
I'm really excited about seeing more and more electric HGVs on the roads. So at the moment we can see the sort of growing numbers in markets like Norway, Sweden, Denmark, and there's a significant increase in there. And obviously the the HGV manufacturers are bringing. They effectively have a solution now for pretty much every use case. So from the last mile to the long haul, and then just seeing volumes of those. MCS, so megawatt charging standard, is something that I'm looking forward to seeing take that to the next level. So it's like even previously, like we've had truck charging solutions in use in the UK for several years now in different places, but just the volume of growth and utilizing the high charging powers to basically for a transport logistics company to be able to pretty much run the same routes, same schedules with electric trucks when we get to be building those charging networks to support that. That's going to be really exciting, and I really hope that next year is going to be the sort of big breakthrough in the UK on that, as it has been in other countries in the sort of this year and last year.
I look forward to seeing that happening, Roll. I really do. I really do. It'll be brilliant. And all this, all the work you're doing is brilliant. And like I say, you've got a lot of projects on the go. It's really, really good. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you for joining me on this, on the podcast. I think it's been a really interesting conversation. So so thank you.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure having a chat with you. I could talk about this for hours. So
I know. Well, this is the thing when you get sat talking to another geek, you see, But look, on that note, I'm going to say to everybody else, thank you for watching and listening. I hope you've got plenty out of this conversation, and please do kind of engage with our kind of social media. We've got the Electric Evolution LinkedIn page, and we're on Instagram and Blue Sky and Facebook still, and just share the word. But on that note, I'm going to say thank you for watching and listening. Thanks to Roll, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching Electric Evolution with Liz Allen. If you've enjoyed this episode, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. If you're a charge point operator, local authority or stakeholder in EV charging, I'd love to talk to you about our Charge Point Evolution framework. It's designed to help you create a seamless EV driver journey, boost utilisation and maximise your return on investment. Alternatively, if you know someone who'd be a great podcast guest or might be interested in sponsoring an episode, you can email me on liz@fullcircleci.co.uk. Thanks again for watching.